Dr. Thompson. I'd like to introduce you to my YouTube video on General Chemistry 2. It's short tutorials and all the topics that are pertinent to this subject. But before I get started, I just want to talk to you a little bit. No matter who you are, general chemistry is a very hard topic, and you'll find it really challenging. So I want to give you a little advice from my over a decade of teaching and also over a decade of being in industry and practicing chemistry. And the first thing I kind of like to start with is just helping you to understand that chemistry is a unique beast. It's somewhat, physics is this way, chemistry is this way. It's not left-brained, it's not right-brained. You need to bring your whole brain into the game. You need to get the big picture. You need to understand the general principles. But you also need to drill down at times. You need to understand the specific content. And you have to pay close attention to details. And that's why chemistry is so unique and so many people find it so challenging. So just for example, if you were talking about titrating a strong base into a weak acid, you'd have three different situations. You'd have to understand the big principle here. You'd have to understand when the solution was acidic. That would have a whole set of equations that are unique to when the solution is neutralized and at equivalence. That also has a unique set of formulas, and then later on, once you pass the equivalence point, now you're becoming basic. That has another set of equations that's unique. So you have to understand the big picture in chemistry. The second thing I'd tell you about chemistry is this is more kind of career driven, what I'm discussing here. A lot of people take chemistry too because they want to become an engineer, or they want to go into the medical field, or maybe they want to do chemistry, straight up chemistry. The thing I would really push for is that you understand in all your technical fields, it's time for people to become more competent. Start pushing for competency, not just completion. Just having that check mark and say, hey, I did general chemistry 2, that's not going to necessarily serve you well unless you really are competent with the material. For example, if you're going to be in medicine and you're a doctor, you have to understand the acid-base chemistry of the blood system. Somebody's life may depend on that. When you're a civil engineer and you're trying to understand the kinetics by which concrete dries, that could cost somebody millions of dollars in property damage. And if you're just a chemical engineer or a chemist and you're running a reaction and it's supposed to be in the liquid state and you don't understand what's going on when something precipitates, understanding KSP or change of state, you could lose your product. It could become solid in a liquid flow tube, and it could just destroy your experiment or destroy your reactor. And you got to understand these things. So again, I just stress that you really work hard to become competent, and that means that you're disciplined. It's going to take some time to do this well. So what goes on a daily basis, the way you study, the way you do lots of problems on a daily basis, that will determine your performance when it's assessment time. So that's a good rule of thumb for all of your technical courses that you'll do in the future. And finally, the last thing I would stress, and this is relevant to you studying here in the chemistry classroom, or it's also relevant to your future technical career, you have to work with other people. Elon Musk is not going to go to the space by himself. He's not going to build the rocket, design the materials, work out the fuels, work out combustion, do the whole flight path plan by himself. It's a team. People work in teams in the technical fields. So now is the time to hone that ability and to walk into a group situation and not just consider yourself the only one with the right answers. Learn how to listen to each other, learn how to work together, learn how to rely on each other's strengths, learn how to trust each other. And that's really going to be a game changer for you, and it's a critical skill for you moving forward. So anyway, I hope that this YouTube channel is of great help to you with the topic of General Chemistry 2, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Again, this is Dr. Thompson.